Is this the point at which the universe of hip-hop and love ultimately breaks apart irreparably? Over the years, there have been a few messy blowouts. From champagne flutes in the air to months-long social media fights. However, even the most seasoned insiders in the music industry are stunned by what recently surfaced. Mendeecees' eye is apparently in a state of complete amazement after Bambi dropped a bombshell that was so weighty, dark, and intimate that it sent shockwaves straight through the Harris household. We are discussing accusations that go well beyond the usual squabbling on reality TV. This isn't about who murmured what in the club or who wasn't invited to a brunch. The safety of a family and the integrity of marriage are directly impacted by this. Rumors that Bambi Music sat Yandy Smith Harris down and confronted her with an accusation that is nearly too upsetting to relate have caused the internet to go completely crazy. Rumor has it that Bambi has addressed long-standing, sinister rumors about Yandy and some genuinely terrifying situations, according to the claims, Music, that are currently making the rounds. Music, in particular, it's being reported that Bambi asked Yandy about rumors that Mendeecees himself might have been complicit in an unimaginable betrayal. A knife might cut through the thickness of the strain. Furthermore, the public's imagination is just becoming more wild due to the Harris camp's music silence. In an attempt to determine whether this is the breaking point for one of the most famous music couples in the franchise, fans are feverishly checking their feeds. As the specifics start to come to light, how do you even recover from an allegation this sinister? There is little doubt that the family drama has officially turned dark, and the aftermath will be unlike anything we have ever seen. Prepare to delve deeply into every startling detail of these reports. The room was filled with an oppressive vibe, the kind of heavy silence that typically precedes a huge storm. Bambi and Yandy were seated across from one another in an environment that seemed far too clinical for their common past. These two ladies have been navigating the perilous waters of reality TV for years, avoiding petty rivalries and gossip. However, the current reports indicate that the masks have finally come off. Bambi didn't just come to speak, according to the most recent rumors making the rounds in the industry's inner circles. She came to demolish a story that had been meticulously crafted for more than 10 years. According to the rumors, confronted Yandy head-on and brought up a subject so taboo that it is said to have left the entire production. The crew is stunned. We've heard that Bambi responded to rumors about Mendeecees that were so sinister they threatened to completely alter the Harris family's musical past. According to the report's core, Bambi approached Yandy with specific rumors claiming that Mendeecees was involved in a situation where Yandy was compromised or targeted in a way that no spouse should ever have to go through. It sounds like a claim from a psychological thriller. However, sources now assert that the conversation did, in fact, occur. The mood purportedly changed from a typical reality drama to something far darker and more horrifying as the cameras rolled. Fans of his music, who have followed Yandy and Mendeecees, are aware that they have endured lengthy family feuds, court cases, and prison terms. However, it is a degree of betrayal that most people cannot even comprehend when a peer informs you that your own husband may have arranged According to the allegations, Yandy's cheeks lost color as Bambi talked leaving her noticeably shaken and unable to come up with a defense right away. She has supported the man through good times and bad. According to the story that is emerging, Bambi was acting out of a strange sense of obligation to expose these sinister rumors before they spread to other places rather than out of malice. But the effects were catastrophic and instantaneous. In the realm of entertainment reporting, we frequently witness people arguing about who stole whose style or exchanging insults on social media. However, this is not the same. This concerns the safety of a lady who has built an empire on her loyalty and the basic trust that exists within a marriage. Speculation erupted on social media as word of this altercation started to spread. Every old video of the pair is being analyzed by others, who are searching for indications of one's stress or subtle hints that could, bolster these unsettling allegations. Mendeecees may not have been there when these statements were first said, according to the report. However, his response was, "Imagine being a man who has put a lot of effort into restoring his reputation and stabilizing his family, only to have accusations of such a dark nature brought up by a close associate of your wife." According to reports, he was struck with shock, wondering not only who would propagate such falsehoods but also why his wife would even accept a discussion about them. The drama didn't end there, since everyone connected to the family started to feel its effects. As the music clash allegedly intensified, friends were compelled to take sides and the digital space turned into a battleground of opinions. Some accused Bambi of being a messenger of chaos, while others questioned whether there was a kernel of truth hiding beneath the sensationalism. The conversation grew increasingly acerbic and hurtful. According to sources, Bambi described precisely what she had been hearing in the streets and behind closed doors, rather than merely mentioning the rumors in passing. She allegedly talked about persons claiming to be aware of a scheme to either humiliate Yandy through trauma or keep her in check. These are serious, transformative charges that are outside the purview of a television script. According to the stories, Yandy's first response was one of intense defense. A woman who has spent years preserving her family's tradition has a natural, musical instinct. She reportedly questioned why she would bring such toxicity into her home, reminding Bambi of all the times they had helped one another, music. According to these tales, however, Bambi maintains an oddly composed demeanor, claiming that she was merely telling Yandy what everyone else was already muttering behind her back. This produces a terrible dynamic in music, where the sense of betrayal takes precedence over the facts. Music, the damage is already done if these claims are true. Music, the seed of doubt has been sown in the most public manner conceivable, even if every word turns out to be untrue. The light-hearted antics of a reality program have given way to a dark investigation, music, of manipulation and trust in the family drama. Fans are now suspicious of every moment of their lives, wondering if the happy pictures on Instagram are only a front, music, for a darker truth. The music fans are split due to the seriousness of the situation. On the one hand, there are loyalists who think that those who wish to see Yandy and Mendeecees fail are targeting them. However, a rising portion of the audience holds the view that where there is smoke, there is fire. These rumors didn't just materialize, and music, the claims that Bambi was the one who sent the message lend a level of legitimacy that is difficult to disregard. Music, she has spent years in the trenches with these folks. Furthermore, the fact that she is said to have said something so unsettling implies that music and this buddy group's internal dynamics are considerably more broken than we previously realized. Music, according to the stories, the two ladies argued for hours, and music production had to step in multiple times to keep things from getting physical. It had nothing to do with fame or money. Music, it was a struggle for a family's soul. Those in attendance described the tension in the air as dense and oppressive. A far cry from the genre's typical artificial drama. Music, the accusations seemed to weigh heavily on all parties as the hours went by, leaving them emotionally and physically spent. According to the report, music, by the conclusion of the evening, there were still unanswered questions and a deep sense of discomfort that has now spread among the entire group. The background of the people involved adds even more complexity to this situation. Music, Yandy is a formidable woman who has successfully traversed the field with an uncommon degree of grace and tenacity. Music, it seems like a deliberate attempt to deprive her of her authority to attack her marriage and reputation in this particular manner. Mendeecees, meantime, has dedicated his post-prison music life to demonstrating that he is a transformed individual, a loving father, and a faithful music spouse. These accounts of his involvement in such sinister activities provide as a stark contrast, music, to the person he now presents himself as. According to reports, he was shocked not just by the rumors, music, but also by the fact that they were being given a platform. It serves as a reminder of how brittle a reputation may too be in the era of sensationalized headlines and viral news. The public is now eagerly anticipating the couple's official, music, response. However, recent findings indicate that the internal harm, music, may already be irreversible. The eerie quiet emanating from their camp simply feeds, for the fans who have spent years following their path, every minute that goes by without a denial or a statement feels like, music, an eternity. Amidst all of this, Bambi's motivation continues to be a central topic of discussion. Why music, right now? Why this particular assertion? According to the sources, she was fed up with their circle's secrets and double lives. Music, according to reports, she believed that Yandy should be aware of what was being said about her, even if it meant upsetting the harmony they had fought so hard to preserve. This is a classic instance of the music message being attributed to the messenger. However, the message itself is so erratic that any other result is difficult to envision. With no end in sight, the drama has descended into a dark spiral of allegations and counter-accusations. It's evident that the reality television environment has shifted as we keep an eye on the situation and the music reports that keep coming in. We are looking at more than simply entertainment these days. Music, under the weight of some of the most unsettling allegations we have ever come across in this sector, we are seeing the possible disintegration of a family. There is actual fallout. The truth is currently hidden beneath layers of fear and sensationalism, and the emotions are intense. Music, the shockwaves from that first encounter didn't stay in that room. Instead, they started to permeate every part, music, of their intertwined lives, resulting in a chaos that seemed to get bigger every second. Music, according to the reports, Yandy's defensive walls finally collapsed in a rush of unadulterated emotion as the weight of what Bambi had said began to sink in. The conversation did not conclude with Yandy sitting in silence. Music, according to people familiar with the matter, Yandy eventually lost it and asked Bambi how she could possibly bring such a repulsive story to life when she was aware of the sacrifices made for that music family. Yandy allegedly accused Bambi of being a puppet for people, which caused the conversation to become extremely acrimonious. Who detest witnessing a black family prosper and persevere, song, in the face of adversity. However, Bambi allegedly doubled down without flinching, telling Yandy that she was tired of seeing her friend act as though everything was perfect while the streets were laughing, music, at the alleged betrayal behind her back, and that being blind to the truth doesn't, music, make it go away. This is where the narrative takes an even darker turn since, according to the sources, specifics about the times and locations where these purported betrayals by Mendeecees were allegedly planned were discussed. It was no longer only an imprecise charge. Music, Yandy was compelled to gaze at it whether she wanted to or not, since it had become an intricate map of a nightmare. While this fire was burning between the two women, the tension was so high, music, that everyone in the building could hear the shouting and the sound of things being pushed around as the raw misery of the scenario took over the entire room. According to reports, Mendeecees' phone was exploding with messages from those who had learned about the impending storm, and he was beginning to feel the heat from the music outside world. According to the stories, he was initially perplexed, but as soon as he understood the nature of the accusations being made against him, that perplexity swiftly transformed into music, a frigid rage. This felt like a deliberate attack on his reputation for a man who has spent years attempting to put his legal troubles behind him and establish a brand centered around leadership, fatherhood, and Cora. According to Mendeecees' friends, he was pacing back and forth, asking how his wife could even hear such a big rumor from someone they regarded as a sister. The drama had extended into their real world, impacting music, their capacity to operate, and their peace of mind. It was no longer limited to a television. According to reports that have surfaced, Mendeecees was in a music state of complete astonishment, not just at the words but also at Yandy's decision to stay in the room and listen to them. According to reports, he believed that his allegiance should have been sufficient to cause Yandy to leave at that precise moment. The first lie was told, but the length of the talk indicated that, music, even Yandy might have harbored a tiny bit of suspicion. What really pained him the most was that realization. The family drama then started to draw in the mothers of the extended circle, and the siblings 3 began to learn about the dark accusations. However, once such a claim, music, is released into the atmosphere, it is nearly impossible to retract. People were identifying the kids and questioning them about their father in increasingly toxic social media comments, which is a level of darkness that no family, music, should have to deal with. According to the story, Yandy was torn between her devotion to her husband and the unsettling thoughts that Bambi's remarks had instilled in her. Music, it was said that each time she glanced at Mendeecees, she questioned whether the notion that, music, he could be so heartless was true. According to the sources, she tried, music, to make sense of a situation that made no sense at all while spending nights crying and chatting to her closest confidants. Bambi, meantime, was dealing with criticism from her followers who called her a liar and a family wrecker. However, according to insiders, she refused to back down, claiming that she was, music, the only one with the courage to confront Yandy head-on. The music gap between Yandy and Mendeecees apparently widened as the days passed after the day's altercation. The weight of the accusations sat between them at the dinner table and in the bedroom, making them feel as though they were on different planets even though they were living in the same house, music. According to the story, they temporarily stopped filming together because the energy was too erratic for the cameras to even record, music. An allegation that had completely upended their universe, music, caused the family to completely disintegrate. They appeared to be ghosts of their previous selves, music, with no smiles and no interaction between them, according to many who saw them in public during this time. A marriage that was barely hanging on was depicted in the reports that were being released. Music, fans were picking sides, with some arguing that Yandy should leave right away if there was even a 1% chance it was real, while others defended Mendeecees, claiming that this was all part of a planned, music, effort to undermine a prominent marriage. Millions of the music fans who were eager for more drama seemed to be watching everything they did, and the heated argument just made them feel more under pressure. When rumors, music, emerged that an unnamed source intended to present tangible evidence of Bambi's accusations, the plot continued to take unexpected turns. As is music, everyone waited for the other shoe to drop. This drove the gossip sites into a frenzy. According to reports, Yandy was afraid of what would be revealed next. She was aware of how quickly things might be made to appear negative, not because she thought, music, Mendeecees was guilty. Music, according to the accounts, she was on the verge of a nervous breakdown while juggling her work, her family, and this enormous dark cloud that followed her, music, everywhere. Mendeecees, on the other hand, was allegedly trying to find a method to finally clear his reputation. However, how can a negative be proven? How can you demonstrate that you didn't do what someone, music, claimed you did in private? It was just a matter of time until the growing frustration erupted into yet another enormous explosion. The couple was apparently seeking emergency counseling in an attempt to keep their marriage intact, but even the therapists were reportedly taken aback by the level of drama that had been brought into their office. By the time the issue peaked, this one tale was the center of attention for the whole entertainment industry. Because it addressed such profound and unsettling subjects, music overshadowed all other headlines. Every new revelation was more startling than the last, and the reports were rolling in quickly, music. We heard tales of covert gatherings in parking lots and late-night phone conversations that revolved around this, music, one sinister assertion. The family was split, with some members solidly supporting Mendeecees and others trusting Bambi. Even family holiday plans were allegedly cancelled because no one could manage to be in the same room as one another due to the extreme division. It was a complete breakdown of a support network that had taken years to develop, music. And Yandy stayed at the middle of the storm despite everything. A woman with everything was now witnessing it all elude her due to a friend's, music, remarks. According to the source, she was straining to uphold the strong lady persona for which she has gained recognition, and the emotional toll was evident on her face. It was a difficult period for